The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everybody, this is Nick Morrell with Audio Video Export. I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of the attendees who are in attendance with us. It's unfortunate that we're getting together on these global unfortunate circumstances, but we're really excited to be able to present everybody with a really phenomenal series of webinars that we're constantly updating and adding. So if you're not getting our weekly emails with regard to the webinar updates that are taking place, please make sure that you hit me up, Nick at av-export.com, or give us a ring. We are still in office and we are still shipping. I wanted to let you guys know that there is a current promotion with regard to NEC that's taking place right now for all C-Series monitors in the 65-inch and up, V-Series monitors in 65-inch and up, and E-Series monitor 65-inch only. There is an extension of the warranty from 3 years to 5 years. All you have to do is when you receive it and when you sell it to your end user, you have to register with it. You have to register that with the serial number and whatnot, and there's a special web page for us to be able to do that. So make sure that you get in touch with us in regards to how that works. Also, as a special note, NEC does allow us to register projects. So whatever project it is that you have, small or large, please make sure that you register it with us. We just need the name of competitive information, so if we're competing against an LG or Samsung or another brand, Planar or whoever it may be, as well as the information with the end user. That way we can register that project. Bear in mind, NEC and Audio Video Export does not at any point in time sell to end users. So that information is safe and secure with both of these companies. And we will make sure that not only Audio Video Export is protected, but you as a dealer and integrator is as well. We will not be discussing pricing, as this is a publicly recorded webinar. You can get in touch with your local salesperson in that regard. And just to kick things off, I wanted to let you guys know who we have on call with us. We have Ray Brooksby of BrightSign. He is the regional Latin America sales rep for BrightSign for all of the entire territory. And he's with us, and he's a really phenomenal resource for us, as well as Yvonne Tan and Horacio Alzate of NEC. Yvonne is in charge of the Caribbean, Central America, and the Northern Cone of Latin America, as it relates to English. That's her territory. So we're really excited that the both of them are here. Yvonne, the sales contact, and Horacio is the product specialist contact. So really excited. In addition to those people, we also have George and George, our inside salespeople, as well as myself, Nick, again. And thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Without any further delay and without taking any more time, Ray, one last bit of before I turn it over to you. There is a question box. We will have a Q&A afterwards, but there may be questions that you guys have during the presentation that would be really good that we may not have covered, that would be good for us to be able to do and interrupt. So please feel free to answer those questions. If we don't answer them now or in the Q&A, rest assured that we will answer those via email post haste as soon as the webinar is done. So without any further delay, thank you so much, Ray, and everybody else for being on with us, and on to you.
Thank you, Nick. Much appreciated. This is Ray Brooksby with BrightSign. Nick, I believe the handouts are also there. Is that correct?
That is affirmative. Thank you for bringing that up. Both copies of both webinars the presentations, both BrightSign and NEC, are in the handout box, so you can just download those PDFs so that you can go ahead and download that immediately. You don't have to wait for us to be able to send that out.
Very well. So my name is Ray Brooksby. I am the territory manager for BrightSign for all of Latin America and the Caribbean. So Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. Hablo español. I do speak Spanish. It's limited. It's not my first language, but I'm happy to answer questions in Spanish. So if it's necessary or someone on your team is more comfortable sending their questions in Spanish, please do not hesitate. I'm sorry I don't speak Portuguese, so those of you in Brazil, you'll have to struggle through with English, I suppose. Just how I plan to approach this today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the company. I'll spend most of the time on our actual product, which is our players and our cloud service, but I'll touch a little bit on our partners as well. So these are the topics I plan to address today. BrightSign is a company that makes media players, and we're the leading company in the world doing that. When you take a look at all media players sold into all media player applications, not only digital signage, but all applications for media players, no one sells as many as BrightSign does. But even as with our dominant share of the market, our total sales represent about 10% of the total available market. And you can see there are a lot of other media players here sort of in the noise. And these tend to be either PCs, Android devices, or like LG's embedded Magic Info solution. Interestingly, a few of these actually buy from BrightSign. For example, Cisco players are actually built by BrightSign. So I think they've been careful here not to count twice. But the bottom line, we're the leading manufacturer of media players for digital signage. We've won a lot of awards. We're used by a lot of different companies to do a lot of different things. But the real question is why? Why would all these companies go with BrightSign as a media player? And it is simply this. It is the most cost-effective solution. Setting aside the really cheap Android stuff that generally can run a playlist but not do much else, BrightSign media players are the least expensive choice when compared to a PC as a media player or some of the other standalone media players that may exist. But we are not a PC. We are not a PC. We do not run a Windows operating system, Android embedded, Linux embedded, or any of those other desktop operating systems. And the result is that the media player is rock solid reliable. It will not fail. And it is not subject to the same sort of security risks and concerns you'll encounter when you use a desktop operating system to run your digital sign. We support up to 4K resolution in all but one of our products. And they are connected cloud services for scale. Some of our customers manage 1 or 2 devices, but many of our customers, a good example would be T-Mobile and Bose. T-Mobile over the last 18 months has rolled out a nationwide network in excess of 50,000 displays. And Bose today manages a worldwide network that exceeds 300,000 displays. GoPro, a worldwide network at around 100,000 displays. So while you may have an application for 10 or 15 or 20, that's okay. But if you have an application for 100 or 1,000 or 10,000, we are just as happy to work with you and have a solution that will scale accordingly. The heart of everything we do is the media players we build. And they fall broadly into 4 categories: the LS, HD, XD, and XT. Sometimes we say families: the LS family, the HD family, the XD family, and the XT family. As I move up the family line, the players have more and more power. For example, an XT media player has a quad core CPU, 16 gigs of RAM, and a graphics coprocessor. Whereas the LS player, a single core CPU, minimum RAM, and no graphics coprocessor. So an LS is good for very basic work, simple playlists, audio, video playback, maybe some light HTML. But if I have complex wayfinding HTML5 applications with multi-touch, pinch and zoom, and interactivity, I should not try to run that on an LS. I should bring that up to an XD or an XT. The HD, XD, and XT players all support 4K. LS is HD only. Now we have this player right here that's a little bit different than the others, the so-called HO523. The HO523 is a media player in the OPS form factor. Some years ago, Intel invented a standard that they called OPS. It stands for Open Pluggable Standard. And the idea was to make it easy to put a PC inside of a screen. Well, I've already mentioned BrightSign. We don't make PCs, and our media players are not PCs. But it's an open standard. So we built a media player that conforms to that standard. The result is, if you have a display, and I know NEC has models of this flavor, if you have a display with an available OPS slot, this media player will slot right into the display, receive power, and provide audio and video connections back to the display on this single connector inside. And on the outside of the player, there's still a network connector and a place to put a memory card and the sort of things you might need to access directly on the player. But all audio, video, and power connections to the media player are handled inside the display. It makes for a very, very elegant installation. A single power connector drives the whole solution and a single network connection to the front, and you're now online with a very, very, very smart and capable display. But if you need to replace the media player or if you need to replace the display, you unplug it, swap it into the next one, and away you go.
Hey, Ray, for this particular player, do you require a separate power supply, or will the monitor itself have enough power in order to be able to power this OPS card?
No external power supply. This is powered by the display.
Thank you.
Power, audio, and video connections are all internal on this ribbon connector right here. In fact, there's no place on the front to even connect power. So we do have a few other accessories. We have some touch panels that you can connect to a media player via USB. This is for building kiosks or interactive sorts of projects where the display might be mounted inside of a you know, a kiosk or a monolith of some sort. We also have a Wi-Fi kit. If you need to install Wi-Fi in your media player, it's important to note this is an option. It's not automatically included. This is an option that you can specify if you need it. We can install it before we ship it, or it can be installed in the field. It does not need to be ordered at the time you order the player. And then we have some miscellaneous parts, memory cards, an infrared remote for the player. Applications for this remote are very, very limited. There's no need to buy one of these. The memory card you can source from us or source locally. If you source it yourself, get a high quality card. Notice these are industrial quality. Get at least a pro level card. Don't go with an inexpensive consumer card. The inexpensive consumer cards will work, but if you go that path, you need to plan to replace the card in about a year because the card will wear out. Whereas the industrial cards, we expect them to last for the life of the player. So that's an important point. Make sure you send questions to Nick. We'll make sure we answer all your questions. So in addition to the media players, BrightSign offers a cloud service we call bsn.cloud. Now, if you're familiar with BrightSign and have worked with us in the past, you know we have a cloud service called the BrightSign Network Service. Please do not confuse the two. They are separate services. The BrightSign Network Service continues to be functional. I should say it continues to operate. We continue to maintain it, to support it. We have tens of thousands of media players connected to that service. We've not turned it off, and we have no intention of turning it off. But about a year ago, we announced, and about 6 months ago, we made available a new cloud service we call bsn.cloud. Now, bsn.cloud is different from BrightSign Network Service in the sense that it offers a unique platform not only for BrightSign but for our content management software partners, which I'll explain. The media player needs at a minimum our operating system version 8, which is an easy upgrade. If you have any of our Series 3 or Series 4, Series 3 or Series 4 media players are compatible with our operating system version 8. You can connect them to the bsn.cloud service if you wish. Now, the cloud service is available in two forms. It's available in a control cloud or in a content cloud. Control cloud allows for player management, setup, monitoring, sorts of functions, but there is no content management available in the control cloud. Content management would be handled with a different piece of software. We say CMS, which stands for Content Management Software. You use the control cloud with your CMS choice. If you want to manage content through bsn.cloud, you need to subscribe and pay for a content cloud subscription. Control cloud there's no charge for the control cloud. It's free. But if you want a content cloud subscription, then you pay for that. So you either pay for a CMS partner of your choice, or you use our content cloud. My general recommendation is that you find a content management software solution you like and use it with your BrightSign players. It's not that I don't like ours, but I think you'll find these are better with a better set of features. So it feels a little weird to say that a BrightSign player is connected to our control cloud and to a third-party software solution, but that is in fact the case. It's like the media player has one foot in the BrightSign world and the other foot in the CMS world, and this is to allow you as the manager of the network to have full visibility into what's going on. Now, content partners include all those that you would imagine. Now, let me go quickly to that slide. And this isn't everybody, but you'll see here Screen Feed, Red Dot, Creating Margin, DigiWorks, headquartered is in Mexico City. Not on the list is OneLAN. Is MVix on this list? I was looking for MVix. I know they're also a partner. I don't see them here.
I think I see the OneLAN Carousel and MVix were on another slide that you showed yesterday.
Okay, I'll get to that slide then. In fact, let's go straight there. It's this slide right here. Here's how it actually looks. The software solution of your choice. There's MVix, there's Signage Live, OnSign TV, headquartered down in Brazil. Zincro is the product from DigiWorks in Mexico City. AppSpace is Cisco, Industry Weapon. They're all here. Virtually every content management solution in the market is compatible with a BrightSign player, and through our bsn.cloud service, the entire system comes together for content management and player management and monitoring, and that's the key. The control cloud features of the BrightSign network service or the bsn.cloud system that these services use are at no cost. There's no additional charge for this. It's included with every Series 3 and Series 4 player running OS 8. You choose the content management solution you like, and it all comes together into a single management platform. So at the heart of our solution are media players. That's really what we make. We are a hardware company. The software you use should be according to your choice based on your need. The software you choose should be according to your need. So I think that is all that I need to say at this point. I'm happy to yield the floor for questions or for the next presenter.
Thanks so much, Ray. We've got just one quick question here. What's the name of the BrightSign CMS? That's the
If you're going to use our CMS, then what you use is the Content Cloud. And the application is called BrightAuthor Connected. It's a new version of BrightAuthor. So in the old world, it was BrightAuthor and the BrightSign Network Service. In the new world, it's the Content Cloud and BrightAuthor Connected. But my recommendation is to use the Control Cloud at no cost with a CMS partner that you like. That's my recommendation. This is the best formula for success right here.
Now, just for those who are in attendance, we Audio Video Export has very good relationships with several of those, MVix included, Carousel, Signage Live, and OneLAN. The primary reason that we push MVix is because they have Spanish language support, whereas the other ones have limited Spanish language support. But we, depending on what the needs are of the project and who the end user is, sometimes, if you're working on a McDonald's in your area, I believe they already have a contract with one of those, either Carousel or OneLAN. I'd have to look it up. So it just makes sense that we use them. We sell the BrightSign player and the NEC monitor, and then just use the CMS partner.
Connected to the CMS that's in place. These are all very, very good. They all have strengths and weaknesses. They, some are better at some things than others. It's normal, right, in software. And they all offer trial periods. So you can use Signage Live for a month before you have to spend any money to decide if you like it. If you like it, then you go forward. If not, you swap it out for MVix and use MVix for a month to see if you like it. If you do, you go forward and so forth. So Carousel, MVix, Signage Live, OneLAN, all of them offer trial periods. It gives you an opportunity to find out which you like best. It's important because day to day, you don't deal with the hardware. The hardware's installed, the display's installed, the cabling's in place. Day to day, you live with the software. That's what you touch every day. So you have to be careful that you've made a good choice in software.
Yeah, and we can also set up audio video export can liaise between you and our dealer and integrator network with these many of these companies in order to be able to do demos and see what the back end of the software looks like even before the actual demo that Ray mentions, which is a good point as well. Thanks so much, Ray. Without taking up any more time, we'll switch you over to Horacio. There you go, Horacio.
Can you guys hear me well?
Yes, sir.
All
Loud
right.
and clear.
Good to go.
Okay, good to go. Perfect. All right, excellent. All right, well, I guess good afternoon, everyone. Now, thank you so much for attending the webinar that was coordinated through NEC at AVE. So definitely at the end of my presentation, if you guys have any questions, any doubts, I'll be more than happy to answer all those questions. All right. So today, what we're going to be talking about. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I even start on the presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Horacio Alzate. I'm the product manager for Latin America at NEC Display Solutions. I handle all the professional displays, desktop professional monitors, and as well as professional projectors. So all those three lines I handle as the product manager. And in this webinar, we also have Yvonne Tan. She's our territory manager for the Caribbean, Central America, and the northern section of Latin America or South America, which is Colombia, Venezuela, and Ecuador. We also have another territory manager based out of Chile who handles the Southern Cone and the Brazil territories. So any sales related questions can go directly to Nick or any of the sales representatives at AVE, and then they will translate that to us so we can actually and we can serve you the best possible way from NEC standpoint. Okay, so today the part of my presentation is going to be focused in our video wall series. But before I even go into our video wall series, I want to touch up, and just really quick, do a quick glance on the portfolio that we handle for all of our digital signage segment. And what we have, as you can see, we have different series for different segments, for different applications. The E series is our entry-level solutions. We have our C series or commercial side or commercial series. And we also have our V models, which are the value models. And from those series on, they already have the OPS slot. And that's where we tie in very well with BrightSign, because their products are complementary to our solutions. So we're part of the solution. BrightSign brings the other part of the solution, which pretty much creates the whole experience. When we're talking about video wall solutions or digital signage solutions. Then we also move to our P series, which is our industrial more type of displays. They can be used in kitchens, and they could be used in warehouses where they're exposed to humidity, to grease, to dust. So they have a seal mechanism where no particles can actually go into the display. Then we move into our large size models, which we consider them anywhere from 65 inches on up to 98 inches. And then we have our specialty displays, which are the high-bright models. Everything else considered is for indoor. Everything is considered for indoor use. The high-bright models, they can be used in areas where they get direct sunlight directly to the panel. So that's why we consider them high-bright, because as you can see, the other ones we're talking about between 350 up to 700 nits of brightness. But with the high-bright models, We can go to 2000, 2500, 2700 nits of brightness. And then obviously what we're going to be talking today is the UN series, which what we refer to them are ultra narrow models because they have the very slim bezel. All right, oops, what happened to my screen? Now it froze. I want to go to the next slide, but oh, here we go. All right, perfect. So now let's go into our portfolio of video wall displays. We currently have 3 different sizes. We have 46 inches, we have 49, and we have 55. In total, 8 displays or 8 different flavors, if you want to call it that way, with different brightness. We have the 500 nit models, and then we also have 700 nit models. The 500 are usually for areas where you don't need that much brightness, usually for control rooms. And then the 700 nit are for spaces with a lot more light in the room. Okay. Now with the 46 inch, if you notice on the bezel gap, we're talking when we put both when we add both bezels, we're talking about 3.5 millimeter bezel gap. That's what we have on our 46 inch. Now on the 49, the bezel becomes even smaller, and we're talking about 1.8 millimeters. And on the 55, we have 2 flavors. We have the 3.5 millimeter gap, and then we have the 0.88 millimeter. And the 0.88, what that means is that each side of the bezel is 0.44. So that's actually one of the slimmest bezels we have currently in the industry. And as you can see in the figures, we can use them both in landscape or portrait orientation. All right. So these the models that I'm referring to right now are new generation. As you can see, we transitioned a few months ago from our older generation. Now we pretty much standardize everything. What UN means is ultra narrow. And let me just jump real quick. Oh no, okay. So what UN means is ultra narrow. Then the first 2 numbers refer to the size of the display. The last number is really relevant. That's more of a generation indication of that display. And then the letter A or V refers more to the type of panel, to the type of panel. And then also the V means that it's a 500 nit display. If it doesn't have the V anywhere on the model number, that means it's a 700 nit. And also on the 55 inch, if you see the letter S, that means it's the slimmest or the slim version, which is 0.88. All right, that's just so that when you present it, with the model number, at least you're able to get a quick glance of what exactly that you're being offered. All right. So what is our value proposition? Is basically getting to know that the traditional video wall pain points. We want to bring to the market the best possible display that focuses on control. That we're also dealing with the smallest bezel gap in the industry, and then the ease of usage of our displays for all types of customers. Okay, our key message of these new generation video wall displays is that they are calibrated right out of the box, so that makes it a lot easier for those who do installation. So you don't have to go through the calibration process, since they're already calibrated out of the box. And how do you do that? Because of the SpectraView Engine that has all those control capabilities, and I'll talk a little bit more about SpectraView. But that's already embedded, and that's already part of the display, which makes it a lot easier for our installers. And obviously, the key messaging, the other key message that we have on our new generation is the decrease in bezel gap. That we went on the 55 inch, we went from 1.2 to 0.88. So that means, you know, there was a significant, I'm sorry, it wasn't at 1 point, it was at 1.2 to 0.88, I'm sorry. So, you know, that's a significant decrease in the bezel gap. Okay, and obviously, we also have the display wall calibrator, which is needed for after a certain period of usage. You know, you start seeing that the video wall still needs to be calibrated at one point after, you know, certain time of usage. So, you know, the display wall calibrator already has new adjustments and newer capabilities that will make it easier at the time of calibrating. Okay, so this is what you can see from our competitor standpoint. This is what you see out of the box. If you see all the different squares, all different displays, they all have like different colors or different resolutions, different tonalities, and this is what happens with our video wall. They all, you know, come calibrated right out of the box. So simple as that. Okay, and then how? Well, we do it through the SpectraView Engine, which is a software. It's a proprietary software. It's embedded already in the display, and what it does, it allows for easy color matching capabilities. So it makes sure that every single display is equally each display comes, you know, it's equally matched in terms of color, in terms of resolutions, and in terms of corner corrections. So it makes sure that every single display is exactly matched, so you don't have to calibrate it individually. Okay, you can also do it from the control settings from the OSD, where it does the self calibration. And then here is sort of a step, you know, how to show or how to where on the OSD you can actually find it, so you can do it, so you can do the self calibration for the whole video wall. Okay, also, you know, talking about, you know, continuing on the unique features that our displays have. And they also have brightness uniformity settings, which it does. It makes sure that all the displays have the same brightness, but not only that, but the brightness is used is relevant to the how much light there is in the room or in the location. So that what it does, it doesn't max out on the brightness. So if there is a high, if at a certain point of the day there is a lot of it's a bright room, then, you know, the displays will go up in brightness. But if it doesn't need that much brightness, maybe at night, then it'll go down. So you're not really maxing out on the brightness, and it'll extend the life of the display. So basically what it does, it's a sensor that will detect the variances of the brightness during the whole day, but it's hard, you know, for the human eye to detect this. Okay. Also, another important feature is the internal temperature sensors and fans. They're constantly reporting any temperature changes in the video wall. So these displays, they come with internal fans that they activate, and they actually stay activated. So it's making sure that if at some point the temperature rises, then you know, those fans stay on until it makes sure that the system is safe again for those fans to go off again. Okay, so that's looking for ways to protect your investment and time as well on any repairs or downtime. Okay, the other important feature that we have with our new generation of video walls is the daisy chain functionality. Before, we could either we would only be able to do it with DisplayPort, and now we're able to do it with both DisplayPort and HDMI. So each display comes in with its DisplayPort in and a DisplayPort out, and an HDMI in and an HDMI out. So that helps us, depending on the applications and depending on the resolutions and depending on the content that we're running, if HDMI works better for you or DisplayPort works better for you, then you now have both options. Okay, and here is sort of showing you a diagram of how the actual daisy chain works. Now, another important element of the daisy chaining is the LAN daisy chain. So you're able to control these displays remotely. Now, another important feature that we have is a new function that is it's called tile cut, and it's basically for those content that needs to be displayed in non-traditional 16:9 video walls. So as you can see the diagrams, it makes sure that it fits the whole image within the two displays instead of displaying it in 4 displays. So it makes it a lot easier for you to work on the content, when you're dealing with the video wall. Okay, now another critical point, and we really emphasize a lot on this on our when we're in front of other customers, and it's basically the high haze filter that our panels for our displays or for video wall series come with, and it's the high haze filter, and this is important for reflection. So as you can see, both the images, the one to the left, which is the NEC display, and then the conventional low haze filter that a lot of the competitors offer. So you see reflection is really critical for us because it does have an impact on the quality of the image, on the quality of the content that is being presented. Okay. Auto settings, which is critical at the time of the installation. So basically, once you have daisy chain all the units, you can pretty much copy the settings on one display onto all the other ones. So which is called the auto tile matrix. So it makes it a lot easier. So that's what I was referring to at the beginning of my presentation. Where it's easy, the ease of usage of our displays at the time of the installation as well. Okay, and then you're also able to communicate individually to each display at one particular moment, because I mean if you have them all if you have them all in tile matrix, whatever you do to one display, it will change it to the whole units in the video wall. But in this case, if you only need to individually communicate to one particular display, then you're able to do it just with the remote control, pointing it at that display and holding on to the ID set, and then you're able to putting in which display you want to point at. So you're able just to communicate with that particular display. Okay. The new features that I was talking about at the beginning as well is the features on the color calibration software that it comes with with our bundles, and it's the corner uniformity correction, which provides the ability to adjust the color of each corner of the display. So that's pretty common. The previous versions didn't have that. Okay. Well, those are just more features that you can actually read on the presentation that you're able to download. The ease of replacement products. It's critical. Oops, I'm sorry. Let's keep moving on. Okay, so it's easy to replace the units. We don't change our display constantly as with other manufacturers that you make an investment and then 6 months down the road or a year down the road you need to find a replacement for that video wall. and then you can't find the same model. So then, you know, it looks like a patch, you know, when dealing with replacing that display unit that, you know, that was damaged or had to be replaced, you know, for some reason. Okay, the other important offer that we have, you know, with our displays is that we offer video wall bundles, and these bundles, they come in two different configurations, either 2x2, which is 4 displays, or 3x3, which is a total of 9 displays, and they come with the brackets or the wall mounts. But the type of wall mounts are professional wall mounts that are the pushing pull-out type of wall mounts that make sure that if at some point you need to service one of the displays or one of the units, or you need to replace one of the units, then you don't have to dismantle the whole video wall. So, you know, you only go for that particular display that needs to be either maintained or replaced. It comes with the video wall calibrator, which is not needed at the time of installation, but for later on, you know, after, you know, a certain, you know, time of usage, then you'll need the display wall calibrator. It also comes with the surge suppressors. It comes with all the cabling and the overframe bezel kits. So it makes sure the bezel kit, the overframe bezel kit makes sure that it looks like one whole unit. And all the cables, as far as HDMI and DisplayPort cables, they already come with all the bundles. Different accessories as well. If you need additional speakers, or if you need additional calibration software for different locations. And the other thing that I was going to mention is that all of these displays are compatible with Naviset Administrator. Naviset Administrator is a software that we offer at no charge, and it's for managing or administering the displays. Let's not get it confused with content management software, because it's two different things. This Naviset Administrator is to control the actual unit, the actual hardware. So it works very well for your service team because it allows them to check on the displays. It allows to block the units so no one can actually manage or handle the displays, so they don't get to so they don't play around with the people that are not knowledgeable in the configuration of the displays, they're not able to disconfigure this type of solutions. So that's critical. The other thing is that it allows you to turn on or turn off the units remotely, and it also sends messages to the service team in case one of the units is failing. And then it lets you take action remotely many times without having to send a technician out to the location. So it's a critical, and it's an important feature that we offer as NEC Display Solutions at no charge. Okay, and this is what I was referring to in my presentation. When we're looking at the high haze or low haze. So if a display or a panel has low haze, that means you're going to have more reflection. So this is what you see. This is a perfect example. You're dealing with a lot of lights, and you're not really seeing clearly, the content. Okay, as opposed to an NEC high haze panel. Okay, and here as well, very little reflection from the light, the interior lights or light, coming from the outside. And that basically, I'm sorry I had to rush the presentation, making sure that I was on time and leaving enough time for a Q&A. So now I open it to everyone, for any questions that you guys have. So I'll be able to respond.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Horacio. That's really great. We do have a couple of questions for you. How often, given that the NEC monitors are calibrated out of the box, how
Yes.
often is it recommended, or do you think needs to actually do the calibration after installation? Or what kind of frequency should that be done?
Just to be on the safe side, it should be done at least, once a year, just to make sure that, it's done I mean, if you don't see anything major happening, because it also depends on the usage. But but just for preventive maintenance, or just to make sure that everything is done correctly, if you can do it once a year, that would be perfect.
Do you require, in order to do that calibration, the spider device, or will the
Yes.
self-calibration be sufficient?
No, the self-calibration is done right at the beginning of the installation, but then when it's but after it has had usage, then you will need the spider, which comes with the bundle. Or if they don't want to buy the bundle, they could always get the spider, and the self-calibration kit that we offer separately.
For those who are unfamiliar, the spider device that we're talking about, it sits over at least a couple of the monitors, and it's got a little camera built in. You just kind of lay it on top of it, and then it comes with the software, correct, Horacio?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so you run the software that it comes with, and then it does a calibration and takes measurements so that it can correct the different colors. Horacio, there's another question in regard. Oh, and for anybody else who's got a question, please don't hesitate in order to be able to write. We've got a few more minutes, so we're okay on time. Please do feel free to ask, whether it be for NEC or BrightSign, either or. So another question that we've got, Horacio, would be with regard to the overframe bezel kit. How's it installed? What does it do? How does it change anything? Is it necessary, etc.?
No, it's not necessary. I mean, it's just it's just looks, pretty much. I mean, so if you want to make it like look like a frame, pretty much, that's what it does. That's the look that it gives to the whole video wall, and it makes it look just one whole unit, instead of seeing like the different, instead of seeing like the open frame at, on the edges.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So it's purely aesthetical in order to be able to cover whatever junction points there would be between monitors.
Correct.
Awesome. Well, if there aren't any other further questions, I just want to say thank you again to our attendees, to our presenters. Thank you, George, for putting that information up on the screen. Please feel free to get in touch with us should you need absolutely anything. For all of our attendees, we're here at your service. We are fully operational. We've got a warehouse full of stock, and we are able to ship. I know that many of you are unable to receive any product on your end, but we're here in order to be able to help with whatever question. And we want to be involved from start to finish of the project. That way we can guide you in the right way to go with regard to product selection, any design considerations that there may be for whatever it is that you guys are doing. So please feel free to use us. We're at your disposal and at your service. And thank you, everybody, so much again.
All right, now thank you, Nick, for helping us put this webinar together.
You got it. And yes, this is being recorded. You will receive a link as a follow-up email with regard to where you can go, or if you just look up our YouTube page. It takes a couple of hours for me to be able to convert this over to a recording that I can then upload to YouTube. So, but by end of day, that link will be up on our YouTube channel. So if you have an email from me, a recent email from me, you'll see that there's a little YouTube icon there. You can click on that. That takes you to our YouTube page. Otherwise, if you just do a search for audio video export in YouTube, you may have to filter by channel, because if you just do audio video export, it's going to give you videos. So you may have to filter by channel, and then you'll find us via that method. Thanks, everybody, again, and have a wonderful day and rest of your week, and stay safe.
Thank you very, very much, Nick. Much appreciated.
Thank you.